All right, what is up? It is May, and we are here to do the April update for At What Cost. What's up, everybody? My name is Eric from UFCW Local 8, and these are the monthly updates where we just kind of recap everything that we've been doing over the last month, give you an idea of what's going on so that you can make a decision and decide if it's something that you want to plug into. We ask that you share this with people that you work with. I think there's a lot of people out there that would like to get more involved in building union strength and solidarity with each other as rank and file members, and connecting with them gets exponentially easier when you leverage your coworkers and help spread the word that there are union members in the UFCW Local 8 that are looking to connect and help build a stronger rank and file UFCW membership in solidarity with our leadership. And, with that, a real quick shout out to Brother Chris. You might notice a different sound, hopefully a little cleaner. He has been watching the videos and listening to all the content and noticing that there's a lot, a lot of variances in audio quality and provided like this microphone. So thank you to him for helping me get it all set up, and anything that's not right beyond this point forward is all my fault. So thank you to Chris again, and just a reminder to everybody that this type of stuff and showing up at these meetups that I'm about to talk about and hanging out in these meetings and adding your voice and your opinion and asking questions about what it means to be in a union, all of that kind of stuff it's the kind of stuff that makes the UFCW stronger. It's your participation. It's adding your opinion and your voice to things that you care about, like your working conditions. But at the same time, it's also like educating yourself and learning about what it means to be a union member beyond just getting access to your contract and getting access to your benefits and your wages and your retirement and being able to file a grievance and the things we kind of take for granted. There's a lot more to it. And connecting and hanging out with each other and going to the meetings, the general membership meeting that we'll talk about, those are all ways to not only help educate yourself and empower yourself as a union member, but also to help make the UFCW stronger. So it's a win-win. So consider that. And if there's anything that you can add and contribute of your own, like I think everybody has like something to add and contribute, like do it and see what happens. It's pretty cool. Anyways, so with that, let's just roll through the stuff that we did last month as a group of members. At What Cost? If those of you might be listening for the first time, At What Cost is a group of UFCW Local 8 members that have gotten together to learn about all the things I just talked about, what it means to be a strong union member and how to make the UFCW Local 8 specifically a stronger union. And we do that by connecting with each other and other locals and other members across different unions and all over the place, and talking about our working conditions and what's worked and what hasn't worked, and how we've won strong contracts, and really just showing the bosses and showing the companies that as connected and unified workforces, we're unstoppable. And hopefully we can regain a little bit of balance in our lives. I know a lot of people listening right now know what I'm talking about with the struggles. So know that this is the answer. Not this like at what cost, but union solidarity and union strength, and standing strong with your union, and then those unions standing strong with each other in even large coalitions of workers. That's how we make this happen. So without these social bonds and connections, it's difficult. And the more we do as individual human beings to forge through that and make those connections, the stronger we are, first in our union and then as a people. So anyways, heads up, enough of that. Let's go. Let's talk about it. What have we been doing? We had our meetings. We met on the 11th and we met on the 25th of April. That was our 11th, our 12th and 13th meetings, and that means we've been doing this for 6 months, 2 meetings a month for about 6 months. So shout out to everybody who's been there since the beginning, and the handful of you that have been there every meeting. It's awesome to see everybody, and now that we're putting it up on YouTube and I know people are watching it there, it's cool to see it continue to spread. I would love for more people to get involved and add their voice and be hanging out at the meetings live, but just knowing that there's a way for people to participate when it's convenient for them is good enough for me. comment if you have anything to say. Comment in the video, and we can have conversations down there as well. And I'll show you guys something a little bit later on with the videos that I think will make it a lot easier to get into those. But just heads up about the videos. We do record those meetings, and those meetings go up on this channel, so you're able to watch them whenever it's convenient for you, and send them to coworkers so they can hang out and watch them too. So shout out to At What Cost for being around for 6 months. That's pretty cool. 6 months of meetings for some of the founding people. It's been going on a little bit longer than that, but we started doing meetings 6 months ago. And during those meetings, we talked about making the UFCW Local 8 stronger, how to make it more democratic and member-led. A lot of conversation around voting, one member, one vote, what it means to be able to vote for things like shop stewards, union reps, the executive board and leadership in your union, international president, those types of things. Your vote in your union is your voice. It's how you show your support. And so we talked about the importance of that. And we also talked about transparency and how important it is for the members to be able to see what's going on. When you can't participate in your negotiations and you're not allowed in the negotiating room, it makes it difficult for you to know that the two parties that are involved are doing what's best for you. A real easy solution to that is to include members in the process and give them a way to communicate back out from that room to the people that need the information. With that being said, our union has been very communicative throughout this negotiating process, so thank you to the leadership there for getting us updates in a timely manner. We appreciate that, and as negotiations continue with the current Safeway and Raies contract, we'll continue to get updates and try to help spread them out to as many people as possible as they come in. But transparency goes a long way in building trust with your membership. It helps the membership feel and know. It's the trust but verify method, where we now know because we can see with our own eyes that things are on the up and up, things are happening in our favor, that everything's, our voices are being heard at that table. And, that's just a personal belief of mine and a position of many of the members within At What Cost. And if you have a position that varies from that, I would love to talk about it more, hear about it in the comments, or, feel free to join into one of the meetings and express the reasons why. I'm open to having my mind changed, of course. The way I'm thinking right now was not how I started, obviously as a member of management. So I am capable of change. So I would love to talk about it more. We talked about the company dragging its feet and on these contracts. They've been delaying a lot. Oh, I'm actually skipping ahead a little bit. I'm sorry about that. We also talked about unfair labor practices. So we spent a little bit of time talking about what an unfair labor practice is, how you would go about letting your union rep know about an unfair labor practice. And I'll show you guys a quick and easy way to look that up if it's something that you're interested in. But we should all be aware of what rights are protected to us under the National Labor Relations Act. And any violation of those rights is an unfair labor practice. And we can do things like take unfair labor practice strikes in those situations. So it's a tool in our tool belt to help gain leverage in our negotiations. Speaking about negotiations, that was me getting ahead of myself. We have two ongoing negotiations currently, Safeway and Raies up here in the north, and we are coordinating effectively with all of the West Coast contracts down the California coastline into Southern California, and are part of the Grocery Workers Rising campaign, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But Safeway did cancel the last two negotiating dates before our contract expired on the 10th and the 11th. That was unfortunate. We had our contract expire on the 12th and are now in a day-to-day extension. Negotiations were set for the 24th and 25th. Those negotiations happened. The progress on that was that some small proposals were discussed, but that the company has still refused to discuss any of the major proposals like wages. So they're continuing to drag their feet. It's up to us to show that we're dissatisfied with that. We need to show solidarity with each other. The UFCW launched their button campaign and have been going around passing out buttons. I'm sure all of you that are Safeway workers in this local have seen your rep in the store passing out buttons. Wear them. It is actually a really powerful show of solidarity when you notice that your whole store is rocking their buttons. I've noticed a lot more people in my store in their buttons, and so shout out to everybody who's doing that. I see you out there. It's awesome. If you have trouble remembering to wear your button, John, who came around with our union rep and talked to everybody about what was going on in the contract, had a great tip. He suggested wearing it up in your hat. I've seen a lot of people with their buttons up in their work hat. That helps you not lose it or forget it. And so, great piece of advice there. Help spread that around in your stores. Call out your coworkers if you see them not wearing their buttons and you're currently in contract extension. It is important for all of us to lock in and show solidarity, and it is a good idea to find out who's not willing to wear a button and let your rep know so they can start working on bringing them over to the good side, because that's a potential scab, and we don't want to mess with those people. We want to make sure we convince them that we need to all be in this together. If you're not willing to wear your button, what else aren't you willing to do, right? So anyways, we also talked about retropay in the contract. Now that everybody's in contract extension, it's really important that we express our desire to get retropaid for our wages back to the date that our contract actually expired. Whatever they decide that our raise is going to be when they decide that's, whenever they come to the end of this process, there's a situation where we get a raise at the contract ratification date. And, in my opinion, I think we're currently owed whatever that wage ends up being starting from April 12th when our contract expired specifically. So retropay on contract increases is not guaranteed. Just keep that in mind. So something to make sure your rep knows you think is important if you do think it's important. And we already talked about the buttons, so that's it for that. Raies, like I said, is also an extension with us. We had thought that they were expiring on June 14th, but that ended up not being the case. That was for the Bel Air stores, I believe. But they are in active negotiation. The Raies members have all received their surveys and have been asked, what they want to see on their next contract through that union survey, the official one. And now they are currently in contract extension with Safeway as of the April 25th meeting. So we haven't heard any updates on their contract other than that as of this current date, I don't believe. So moving on, we had our contract expiration party. We did meet up at Becca's Cafe on April 12th. What a somber event, but it gave us a chance to talk about what a contract extension was. We're in a day-to-day extension. If you want to check that out, I believe that video is available on the Facebook page. If you have any questions about it, you can ask in the comments below. But our contracts are currently in extension. We spent some time going over that. We talked about worker-to-worker organizing a lot, and that is us connecting across different stores. I'll show you guys a little something here in a minute, but crossing different stores is super difficult. Different companies gets even more difficult. When you get into like different local, like union locals and states, it gets super difficult. But those connections are extremely powerful, and if we can continue to keep making them, I think we'll see some huge gains in labor contracts, not just in our industry, but for a lot of working people that are struggling. So we talked a lot about that during our meetings, and with that was the Grocery Workers Rising campaign. There are, I believe, 5 locals in Southern California, including us also, who are all linked in together and negotiating grocery contracts against every major grocery retailer right now. So it's actually like the battle of the giants, and get ready to fight. I don't think the companies are going to give in, and hopefully, our unions hear what their members are saying, and they're not going to give in either. And it might be time to dig in and prepare for whatever the long road is there. But feedback so far has been that they're still negotiating. Everybody's still coming to the table. So we'll continue to escalate our actions and show our dissatisfaction with the company for dragging its feet and fight to win a good, strong contract. We had the opportunity to, we planned for it during our meetings and talked and got our group together. We had a pre-meeting for the Teamsters for a Democratic Union Educational Conference on May 4th. So it happened yesterday as of this recording. That was down in Stockton. We got to go to 2 workshops. I'm not going to go too much into it. It'll be content for the meeting this weekend. So stay tuned for that. We'll check that out when the time comes there. But that was awesome. We got to hang out with a bunch of Stockton Teamsters, Safeway warehouse workers, Save Mart warehouse workers. It was a cool connection between the two of us to get to have those conversations. And just really, we talked about bringing the union to the members. That was one of the workshops we went to, which is all about just how to help get all of this information from the union out to the people, and you're looking at our attempt to do that right here and right now. So it's that important, that the Teamsters are working on it every day. They're teaching all their rank and file members that are interested in learning, have the opportunity to go to these conferences. And we also got to meet with some of the longshoremen. They came over from Oakland. It was awesome to meet them. Shout out Gabrielle. We'll be talking to her soon on a worker to worker conversation. And, I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. I can't recommend enough getting involved in any of the TDU workshops that you can get your hands on, or the labor notes workshops that you can get your hands on. Check them out. They focus a lot on making your union more powerful. Look into them for yourself and, see what you think. But Labor Notes is a great organization. It's a lot of the same workshops that TDU does. So, but Teamsters for a Democratic Union is obviously more Teamsters focused. So if you check out Labor Notes, you'll see what I'm talking about. Tons of workshops that just are really focused on helping make workers, more strong in their unions. And you'll see, once you see what they're doing, that it's a lot of the stuff that we're doing here. So this isn't just like, willy-nilly, like made up stuff. We're actually, really trying to use proven tactics and models to try to help make the UFCW and Local 8 as strong as we possibly can with active engaged membership. So just a reminder of our intention there. And shout out to Robbie and the gang, Robbie, Aiden, Kevin, Jackson, everybody that's been out there. Friday basketball is still ongoing, so they would like me to remind everybody that they are invited to go out and play basketball. It's on Fridays at 3 o'clock at Enterprise Park in Reading, and pickup games are just happening, and feel free to hop in, join in. And my son and I are going to get out there, I think, this Friday if we can, brothers, and if not, next Friday for sure. But we went out on the first one, and it was a great time, and I look forward to getting out there again. Heads up on social media. I'm not going to cover all the details here on the agenda, but we did have a lot of awesome growth in Discord. Our contact form only got a couple of new entrants. If you want this video, or you think coworkers want this video, you want to send them a link to the contact form. All of these links are available in the description for this channel. You can get plugged into At What Cost anywhere there. So look at the description for this channel for access to the Facebook page, Instagram, Discord, all that stuff. The Facebook page grew by 12, Instagram grew by 5, TikTok grew by 13, and YouTube grew by 13. All steady growth over the month. It's been like that. So like I said, it would go even faster if you took a minute to tell your friends. So thank you for those of you who have done that. We launched our first 2 episodes of Worker to Worker. It's a show basically that you can look at on this YouTube channel. It's me talking to other people in other unions, in other locals, in other states, and I'm going to keep doing that. It's pretty cool. It is very interesting to hear what other workers are going through, both in the things that are different and actually, more depressingly, the things that are the same. So there is one common thread that runs through it, and that is our struggle against these companies. But with that being said, it means that we're not alone. So there is strength in that. Real quickly, we'll wrap this up. We're at 18 minutes. We've got some events coming up. Our general membership meeting is right around the corner on Thursday, May 15th at 8 p.m. It's on 9th Street, Sacramento. Try to get down there if you can. More information on your Voice of Action, the front cover of the magazine. You should be getting it in the mail soon. Our Discord meetings, the At What Cost Discord meetings, are happening every other Friday. We've got one on the 9th and the 23rd at 9 p.m. And the recordings, if you can't make it, will be available on the YouTube channel here, so you can watch it. And that is cool. In-person meetup is May 18th at Becca's Cafe in Anderson. That's May 18th from 1:30 to 3. Becca's Cafe in Anderson. Come hang out, eat at a local restaurant. We have this really cool idea where we can take money from our corporation, the pennies we can spare, and try to spin it around inside local businesses as much as we can, and really help strengthen our connection to the community so that they stay connected with us as workers against this company if we ever need them to show solidarity and not do things like cross a picket line. So yeah, we'll be going to Becca's Cafe, like I said, May 18th, 1:30 to 3. And then just a reminder again, Friday basketball, 3 p.m. Enterprise Park in Reading every Friday, 3 p.m. Enterprise Park in Reading. And with that, I want to show you real quick just something. This is worker to worker. This is, I'm not going to play it or anything, but this is the conversation that we're having. And it's just like this. It's a phone call. It's about a 30-minute discussion. Check it out. But what I really wanted to highlight for those of you that made it this far was this thing right here. In the descriptions of the videos, we have timestamps now for all the stuff that we talk about. If you're looking at the hour-long meeting or even this 20-minute meeting and you're like, dude, I can't make it through that whole thing, all the stuff we talk about is broken down in timestamps. You can just tap on any one of these times and it'll take you right to that
Have,
moment
you
in the
know,
video.
members on the bargaining committee, which seems like a no-brainer, right? When you're, do you guys have members on your bargaining committee in your local?
So that's that. And this was actually, the episode that that Chris was listening to when he was like, bro, you blew out my eardrums with the difference in audio. So again, shout out to Chris for that. But I wanted to show you guys that real quick. Just a heads up, description box of the videos now has timestamps, so you can easily not have to watch everything if you don't want to. You can jump around and find out stuff that you want to see, and hopefully that makes it a little more digestible if you don't feel like putting it in your earbud and just letting it go. But that's a wrap. That's it for us. That's the monthly update. Went a little long, 20 minutes. My apologies, but we had a lot going on. We're in contract negotiations. Try to get to the meeting on the 15th. Let your rep know you're ready to do whatever you need to do to help get a strong contract. We're fighting for better wages, better staffing, better stores. Shout out to the Grocery Workers Rising locals, our 5 local friends, specifically 770 and 324, who I've talked to, personally. Shout out to you guys. Keep up the good fight. We're with you up here in Northern California. And hopefully we'll see newcomers coming into the Discord. Let me know what you think. If there's anything else you need or want out of this group at what cost, just become a part of it and then start doing it. It's like that. Where you at? Come do it. Send this to as many people as you can. If you haven't liked the video, please do that so I know you saw it. When I get likes on here, it makes me feel like people are watching it. Thank you to those of you that do. Say something. All right, cool. We're out of here. Bye.